Good afternoon, everybody. So this is now day 3. So I just want to talk about last night's ceremony. Yesterday I spoke about my intentions going into last night, which was to try and discover and release some of that trapped trauma that I believe that I had in my right leg, that manifested during and even after that relationship breakup that I went through back in sort of 2019. So yeah, I want to talk about last night's ceremony, which was really profound, you know. So we all prepared, we got prepared last night and chose our beds, our mattresses, and then I wanted to choose one really close to, say, the shaman, the taita, and as close as the music as I could get, because for me the music plays a real big part in my journey and I really connect with the music. So I made sure I sat right next to the musicians on the stage there, and yeah, look, we sat in our beds, we got sat down, we got comfortable, and then I was invited up to take my first cup. So bearing in mind I'd done this back in February 2023 this year, I go up to take my cup and the taita looked at me and he looked right into my soul and he poured me a full cup, and I took it from him. I thanked him. I thanked Pachamama or Mother Ayahuasca, and yeah, I just said like a little short prayer in my mind, and I took the cup and I took it down, and straight away I remember the vile taste of it. And you know, the first ever cup I took, I believe was quite sweet, but then this time, wow, the first cup I took was awful, to be fair. But I thanked it and I welcomed it into my body. And I went and sat down straight away on my bed. And as I sat there, I felt the medicine speaking to me and saying, look, I know who you are, like, we meet again, sort of thing. And I said, like, welcome back to my body and do what you need to do. And yeah, we sort of had a relationship building time again, me and the medicine. And, you know, it was funny because I just wrote down on my notes here, like, some of the things that I'd done. And yeah, I wrote now by saying that the ayahuasca, like, she teased me to begin with, like she was making my stomach feel funny and tingly, and then she started to twitch my limbs, my toes, my fingers started to twitch. And you know, as my fingers and my toes are twitching, all my body starts to vibrate, for instance, and then I start to feel the ayahuasca working its magic and doing a full body scan, and it was just surging up and down, whoosh, whoosh, and it was going up and down, and it was just doing a full body scan to see where it needed to do any potential work. And in one moment, like I mentioned, like my right leg is the one that's given me pain all these years, or not pain, but just discomfort, and then my left leg is totally fine. But I noticed straight away my left leg go completely numb, and from top to bottom it went numb, but then from bottom to top it sort of come alive again, you know. And then it switched to the right leg, the leg that's been giving me jip, I guess you could say. And it went down, but it made it sort of halfway down and it bounced back up. But then as it come up through my stomach and up into my chest. And every time that it went to go down to my foot, it kept getting sort of pushed back and it kept rebounding, you know. And every time it come back up, it hit this blockage and bounced back up and wanted to come out my throat. And bearing in mind, last time in February, I took the first cup, but nothing. Took the second cup 2 hours later, nothing. And then about an hour later after that is when I purged, and it happened both times. And then in the day, I didn't purge at all, both days. But this time I took the cup and it done this body scan, and then it wanted to get out of me. It kept trying to come out of my body. And within 20 or 30 minutes, the ayahuasca come out in ways of, say, vomiting. I managed to purge, and I was the first person to purge, and I got it all out. And obviously I felt a lot lighter. As I lay there, the beautiful music began, and I was sat there legs crossed, as I always do. I always cross my right leg over my left leg. And the ayahuasca was telling me in my brain to uncross my legs and sit straight-legged. So I listened to it and I said, okay. So the reason I done that, because it was telling me, like, if you do have any blockages here and you want it to be released, you need to sit straight-legged. Like, you need to sit straight-legged or lay straight-legged every time that you go to bed. So I listened to it and I just put my legs straight, and I could just feel it surging up and down, like trying to work his magic, trying to find a way of removing this potential blockage. And then as I lay there, I started to notice straight away the colours, the shapes, the portals open up. And, you know, at one point I found myself again, like crazy like last time, I had a similar experience to do with, say, cartoons and stuff. But this time I found myself in a Game Boy game, and I was actually in the game. So, you know, I just went with it. I just trusted the journey. And then out of nowhere, I was literally blasted into space, and I'm like in space, just darkness up in wherever. And I see this giant revolving door just spinning around, whoosh, whoosh. And this door was in the shape of a Mickey Mouse. And I can't understand why, but it was inviting me to come through this door. So I just trusted the process, and I went through this Mickey Mouse style giant door. And as soon as I did, you know, my stomach just went. And yeah, I instantly purged after that, you know. But feeling lighter, with my legs straight, I listened to the beautiful music and I just enjoyed the experience. And then is the time when I started to see, like last time, I started to see all these teeth and eyes and smiles, for instance. It constantly changing shapes and colours and places, for instance. I went up to the second cup 2 hours later, around 8 o'clock. And this again was a full cup, but I took the full cup, and this time it tasted pretty good, and it went down much more easier than the first cup. And again, I welcomed her into my body, and I accepted her offer to go on this journey. She kept saying, let's go on a journey. So I said, come on, let's go. I absorbed all the music and all the energy that the music was giving me. And then I started to think about my mum and dad, you know, and I really went deep on the thoughts about my mum and dad, and how much I really love them, and how much I really do appreciate them for all of the things that they've done me. Like, even growing up, say, from a child, even into adulthood, like, they've always been there for me, my mum and dad, and all of my siblings, you know, like, they've stuck by us at all costs. Like, whether we've been little shits, whether we've done something wrong, whether we got in trouble, whether we've hurt ourselves, for instance, my mum and dad have always been there, and all of my family, to be fair, but mainly my mum and dad have been there for me. And especially when I was laying there with zero brain activity, completely brain dead in hospital, like, my mum and dad, if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be here at all, you know. So I really want to appreciate my mum and dad in this video now, and just moving forwards. Like, I really owe my life to both my mum and dad for all the help that they've given me. So I just want to say that I thank them and I appreciate them for everything they've done. And then, yeah, the things started to rapidly change again. It was like a similar experience to last time as well. Like, I felt sick. I felt like I was going to shit myself, literally. My heart went palpitations, and then it just completely stopped again. And I just kept reminding myself, look, this is the journey, don't stress. And whatever happens is going to happen. You don't need to stress too much, because what's going to happen is meant to happen. So don't get overwhelmed and overthink the journey. And like, this is the same as in life. I learned this from last time. Like, nothing lasts forever, everything changes, and the right people will always come into your life at the right time. So just trust the journey that you're on in life, and don't overthink it. Don't stress yourself out. I started to see I started to hear even familiar songs come on. So I instantly sat up and I started to sing along with the Taita and the shaman, and the group there that was playing the music. And after about 2.5 hours of taking the second cup, I sat up and I violently purged into the bucket about 4 or 5 times. Just the puke was coming out, and God, I felt lighter after that. And in all honesty, I had to go and do a bottom purge in the toilet after that, and I felt a lot lighter. And as I sat there, I went and sat next to the fire, out in the fire, and I just look up to the stars, and wow, like, the stars here are beautiful, like pure sky. Like, you see all the stars. And I was looking up and I thought, wow, I always look up into the sky and think there's got to be something else up there, it can't just be us. And as I'm sat there thinking, I was thinking, I wonder what's up there, and I wonder why we're here, and all this stuff. And, you know, I thought like Elon Musk and many people are just constantly searching for alien life, for instance. But what if we are the aliens and people are actually searching for us? Like, sounds crazy, but that's what I was thinking at that moment. I went back to my bed, and one of the guys come up and he gave me an extra blanket, and I felt so warm. Then the Taita, the shaman, looked at me and just gave me a big smile. And then they went and played some beautiful songs. And yeah, after that we sort of all drifted to sleep after sort of midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock maybe. And then yeah, I find myself waking up in the morning to the beautiful birds and the beautiful sunrise. So that's where I'm at the moment on this third day here now. So yeah, I didn't get, say, healed overnight or anything, but I found that there is a blockage in my right leg. So I'm going to start working on ways of how to uncover that blockage and how to release it, how to remove it from my body. So yeah, I had a real good trip last night. It wasn't crazy, but I see some visuals, I see some colours, I see some shapes, and I got some downloads as well. So I'm really looking forward to tonight. I've changed my intention for tonight, and my intention for tonight is how I can support and serve my potential clients, or the clients that I already have, or my potential future clients, to the very best of qualities and to the best of my ability and to the highest of standards, you know, because I don't want to be just one of these average general coaches that's like, oh, I'm a life coach, and you just like read a few books, you listen to a few podcasts, for instance, and then you just teach the shit that everybody else is teaching, like the same old crap on repeat. Like, no, I want to teach from my own personal live life experience, but through, say, on a deeper level as well. I want to teach people from a much deeper level, hence why I'm doing these things, because there's so much more to what we know and understand and what we actually see with our own eyes. Like, there's so much more to life, and I figured this out when I went through the out-of-body experience when I was laying there in that coma all those years ago. So I want to learn today what I need to do and what I can do to become the very best coach to help people get a vision, get clarity on their lives, to build that concrete, solid self-confidence, to go on to take the uncomfortable action to actually achieve their dreams in the future. So I need to learn tonight from my Mother Ayahuasca what I can do to become the very best coach that I can actually be myself. And then as a result, in return, I will be paid as a result of that, because I'm a big believer in that you need to provide value to the universe first, and then you'll automatically be paid in the future as a byproduct based on the amount of value that you provide to people, that you provide to the universe, that you provide to the world. Because again, there's so many people out there, I've seen them, these bullshit coaches, and they read a few books, they bullshit people into believing the shit that's coming out of their mouth. They charge them a fucking fortune, and then they never follow through with the things that they say they're going to do, or they just don't show up, or they don't do the things that they're going to say, and they leave people thinking what if, or they feel lost still. They haven't got any further in their life. And I never want to bullshit anyone in my life, and I always want to put my clients and potential customers first. So for me, it's like, how can I become the very best version of myself? How can I provide so much value to those individuals that they say want to pay me as a result of that? Because for me, like, I don't ever focus on the money, but I focus on the mission, because you need to let the money come as a result of what you do and not the reason why you do it. So many people go out there and start businesses thinking, oh, I need the money first. Yeah, of course, money is important, and with no money, there is no business. But if you focus on the money, you're going to do things, and you're not going to provide your potential clients with the best service, I believe. So if you focus on the mission and how you can serve them, the money will come as a result. So that's, for me, focusing on the mission, focusing on the value, and then yeah, I will be paid as a byproduct in the future. So that's where I'm at today, and I look forward to seeing you all on tomorrow's video. So thank you so much, people, and I'll speak to you soon.